You have big dreams. You can see yourself succeeding. You imagine the life you want so clearly that it feels almost real. But when it comes to actually doing the work, you freeze, you wait. You tell yourself, tomorrow will be different. And tomorrow comes and you do the same thing all over again. You are not alone in this. There's a whole category of people who are exactly like you. Ambitious but lazy, full of ideas but stuck in place. And the worst part is, you know you are capable of more. You just cannot seem to make yourself move. This is not about being a bad person. This is not about lacking intelligence or talent. This is about psychology. This is about patterns in your brain that have been built over time. And the good news is that if something was built, it can be changed. But first, you need to understand what is actually happening inside your mind. You need to see why you are the way you are, and then you need to decide if you are ready to do something about it. Let me paint a picture of what your life probably looks like right now. You wake up with good intentions. Today is the day you finally start. Today, you will work on that project. Today, you will take the first step towards your goal. But then you check your phone. You scroll for a few minutes. Those few minutes turn into an hour. Before you know it, half the day is gone. You tell yourself you will start after lunch. Lunch comes and goes. You feel tired. You feel unmotivated. You tell yourself you will start tomorrow when you have more energy, and the cycle repeats. At night, you lie in bed feeling guilty. You're disappointed in yourself. You know you wasted another day. You promise yourself that tomorrow will be different. You make plans in your head. You feel motivated for a moment, but when tomorrow actually comes, the motivation is gone. And you are back to scrolling, back to avoiding, back to doing anything except the thing you know you should be doing. This pattern has been going on for months, maybe even years, and you are starting to wonder if you will ever change. Here is what is happening in your brain. You are living in a constant state of conflict. One part of you wants to achieve great things. That part dreams big. That part sets goals. That part imagines success. But another part of you wants to avoid discomfort. That part wants safety. That part wants ease. That part wants to protect you from failure and rejection and hard work. And right now, the part that wants comfort is winning. Not because you are weak, but because your brain is designed to avoid pain and seek pleasure. That is basic human psychology. When you think about working on your goals, your brain sees it as a threat. It sees effort. It sees uncertainty. It sees the possibility of failure, and your brain does not like any of those things. So it offers you an easier option. Scroll on your phone, watch videos, play games, do something that feels good right now. Your brain rewards you with a hit of dopamine. You feel a little better, the discomfort goes away, and your brain learns that avoiding your goals makes you feel good, so it keeps encouraging you to avoid. This is not laziness. This is survival mode. Your brain thinks it is protecting you, but here's the problem. While your brain is protecting you from short-term discomfort, it is also stealing your long-term happiness. Every day you avoid your goals, you're building a habit of avoidance. Every day you choose comfort over action, you are teaching your brain that your dreams do not matter. And every night when you lie in bed feeling guilty, you are reinforcing the belief that you are not good enough. You are creating a cycle that gets harder to break the longer it goes on. Let me tell you what you are probably thinking right now. You are thinking that you are just not disciplined enough. You are thinking that successful people have some special quality that you do not have. You are thinking that if you just had more motivation, everything would change. But that is not how it works. Motivation is a feeling. Feelings come and go. You cannot build a life on motivation. You need something stronger. You need structure. You need systems. You need to understand that discipline is not something you are born with. It is something you build, one small decision at a time. Here is another thing you are probably dealing with. Perfectionism. You have such a clear vision of what success looks like that anything less feels like failure. So you wait. You wait until you have the perfect plan. You wait until you feel ready. You wait until conditions are ideal. But perfect never comes. Ready never comes. Ideal never comes. And while you are waiting, life is passing you by. Perfectionism is not about having high standards. Perfectionism is fear disguised as excellence. It is your brain giving you an excuse to never start, because if you never start, you can never fail. Let me be honest with you about something. You are afraid. You are afraid that if you actually try and it does not work out, you will have to face the truth that maybe you are not as special as you thought. Maybe your ideas are not as good as they seemed. Maybe you are not capable of the things you dream about. That fear is paralyzing. It is easier to stay in the fantasy. It is easier to keep dreaming and planning and imagining without ever testing those dreams in the real world. Because as long as you do not try, you can still believe that you could succeed if you wanted to, but deep down, you know that belief is hollow. Here is what you need to understand. Failure is not the opposite of success. Inaction is the opposite of success. When you fail, you learn something. When you do nothing, you learn nothing. Every successful person you admire has failed more times than you have even tried. The difference is they kept moving. They took imperfect action. They started before they felt ready. They built momentum through consistency, not through motivation, and that is what you need to do. You need to stop waiting for the perfect moment and start creating momentum with the moment you have right now. So how do you actually break this cycle? How do you go from being someone who dreams to someone who does? It starts with accepting a hard truth. You are not going to feel like doing it. You are probably never going to wake up bursting with energy and excitement to work on hard things. That is not how the brain works. You're going to have to do it anyway. You're going to have to take action even when you do not feel like it, especially when you do not feel like it. Because every time you take action despite the resistance, you are rewiring your brain. You are teaching it that discomfort is not dangerous. You are building the muscle of discipline. Start small. Seriously, do not try to change your entire life overnight. That is your perfectionism talking again. Pick one thing, one small thing that moves you toward your goal. Maybe it is working for 15 minutes. Maybe it is writing one paragraph. Maybe it is making one phone call. It does not matter how small it is. What matters is that you do it, and then you do it again tomorrow and the day after that. You are not trying to be perfect. You are trying to be consistent, because consistency is what builds habits, and habits are what build lives. Here is the secret that nobody tells you. Discipline feels terrible at first. Your brain will fight you. It will give you every excuse in the book. It will tell you that you are tired, that you deserve a break, that you can start tomorrow, and you are going to have to ignore all of that. You are going to have to sit down and do the work even when every part of you wants to run away. But here's what happens after you do that a few times. It gets easier. Not easy, but easier. Your brain starts to realize that the discomfort is not going to kill you. It starts to adapt, and eventually the resistance gets quieter. You also need to change your environment. Your environment is controlling you more than you realize. If your phone is next to you, you are going to check it. If your workspace is messy, you are going to feel scattered. If you are surrounded by distractions, you're going to get distracted. This is not a willpower problem. This is a design problem. Successful people do not have more willpower than you. They have better systems. They remove temptations. They create spaces that make it easy to focus. They set up their lives so that the default action is the productive action. Turn off notifications. Put your phone in another room. Clean your desk. Set a specific time every day for focused work, and protect that time like it is sacred. Tell people not to disturb you. Close unnecessary tabs. Remove everything that is not essential. Make it harder to be distracted than it is to focus. Your future self will thank you for this, because every time you remove a distraction, you are removing a decision, and every decision you do not have to make is energy you can put toward your actual goals. Let me talk about something you might not want to hear. You need to stop consuming so much content. You're probably watching videos about success. You are reading articles about productivity. You're listening to podcasts about motivation. And all of that feels like progress, but it is not. It is another form of avoidance. It is your brain tricking you into thinking that learning is the same as doing. You do not need more information. You already know what you need to do. You need to stop learning and start executing. Close this video after it ends and go do one thing that moves you forward. Just one thing. Here is another hard truth. You need to accept that you're going to produce bad work at first. Your first attempt at anything is going to be terrible. That is normal. That is part of the process. Every expert was once a beginner. Every masterpiece started as a rough draft. You are not going to create something amazing on your first try, and that is okay. You are not trying to be great right now. You are trying to start. You are trying to build the habit of showing up. Quality comes later. Consistency comes first. Let me tell you what is going to happen when you start taking action. You are going to feel resistance. You are going to want to quit. You are going to have days where you fall back into old patterns, and that is okay. Progress is not a straight line. You're going to mess up. You're going to skip days. You are going to fail. People who succeed do not let one bad day turn into a bad week. They do not let one mistake become an excuse to give up. They acknowledge the setback, and they get back on track. That is the secret. Just keep coming back. You also need to stop beating yourself up. Guilt does not motivate you. Shame does not make you better. Every time you lie in bed, hating yourself for wasting another day, you are making the problem worse. Instead, practice self-compassion. Talk to yourself the way you would talk to a friend. You messed up today. Okay, tomorrow is a new day. You did not do everything you planned. That is fine. Do one thing right now. Forgiveness is not about letting yourself off the hook. Forgiveness is about giving yourself permission to try again without carrying the weight of past failures. Here's what you need to remember. You are not lazy. Lazy is not who you are. Lazy is what you have been doing, and there is a difference. Who you are is someone with dreams, with potential, with the ability to change. What you have been doing is avoiding discomfort because your brain has not learned yet that discomfort leads to growth. Now you understand the psychology behind your patterns, and understanding is the first step toward change. Ambition without action is just fantasy, and wishing will not build the life you want. But action without self-compassion will not last. You need the discipline to take action even when you do not feel like it, and you need the compassion to forgive yourself when you fall short. That balance is what creates lasting change. So here's what I want you to do. Stop watching videos about change and start being the change. Stop planning your life and start living it. Stop waiting for motivation and start building discipline. Take one small step today because that one small step is going to teach your brain that you are serious this time. And if you take another small step tomorrow, that momentum will grow, and before you know it, you will not recognize the person you used to be. You have spent so much time imagining the life you want. Now it is time to build it. Not someday, not when you feel ready. Now. You just need to start and then keep going one day at a time, one decision at a time, one small action at a time. That is how lives change. That is how dreams become real, but through small, consistent choices that add up over time. You are capable of so much more than you have shown yourself, but nobody is going to do this for you. Nobody is going to save you from yourself. You are the only one who can break this cycle. You are not broken. You are not hopeless. You are just stuck in a pattern, and patterns can be changed. It will not be easy. It will not be comfortable, but it will be worth it, because on the other side of this struggle is the version of you that you have always wanted to be. The version that does not just dream, the version that does. Go be that person. Start right now.